know what I'm saying, like music and love music from the jump. So that was my just plan A. I ain't even have a plan B. I made myself not have a plan B on purpose just so I can fulfill my plan A.
What's happening?
Hey, boy, you changed the studio settings up. What's going on with that, man?
Hey, man, you know I have to change it up every now and again, man. I'm traveling, man. We doing a little traveling. Uh, Came up to St. Louis, man, for the right outside of St. Louis, uh, for the holiday, man. So came up here to chill with my wife's family, her friends, my grandmother, on her side. You know what I mean? Get to just be around good people, man. You know how it is, Labor Day weekend. So
Yeah, man. I feel it. I dig. Uh, we used to go to Memphis. We used to go every year. So I get it. Man. So look, we want to get right into it. You know what I'm saying? We just
you want to start off with the eulogy? We'll
want
start with the
no
eulogy.
eulogy.
I came on here to give a eulogy this morning. They asked me to do the service. I said, you know what? I do it just for y'all because the Florida Gator playoff hopes are dead. So we're gonna gather here and just call all the Florida Gator fans to the altar and just lay hands on them and just pray for them and just let them know it's not over. It's still 11 more weeks to play. But boy, eating that first L week one, that got to be tough, my boy. How you doing over there in Gator Nation, man? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
Yeah.
I ain't say you. I said Gator Nation because you all right. But there's some of y'all over there that already done jumped off the boat.
You're gonna have guys. That the one thing with social media fandom, it's three groups of people, right? You have people who like me who, say you talk your trash, you know what I'm saying? You pick your team to win. It doesn't happen. You move on with your day. You respond to a few people, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Then you have people who or the extremists. The coach is never good enough. The players are never good enough. The weather's never good enough. The food's never good enough. The recruiting's never good enough. It's just never good enough. If you win the Natty and week one, then your season's a failure, right? Then you have people. Then you have people who spend all day responding, like the people that are hurt and it's going. Their phone battery is on E for a whole week. They going back and forth with people, fights, arguments. So yeah, man, it just depends on who you talk to, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Even when we win, we still got fans that you ain't doing enough for this,
You ain't
you ain't
doing it.
doing enough of that. Kirby need to be fired because he ain't do this, they ain't doing that. So, like you said, man, look, I've learned in my fandom, and you got the people that just come out when you lose. They don't know you can't find them when you win. So I know it's a bunch of them guys waiting on Georgia to fall. So trust me, man. I'm in the group chats with you most of the time, but standing in the paint with you. But just the game itself, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Break down the game, man. I think the first thing that stands out to me when I talk about the Florida and the Utah game is how shocked I am y'all O line didn't look like what I thought it was gonna look like. Like I don't expect a finished product. It's the first game of the season. Don't get me wrong, but I was thinking that would be the lifeline of your team or the you know what I mean, the heartbeat of your team or what you guys would be able to rely on and stack from there. I'm expecting 150-yard rushing. You know what I mean? 160 yards, 170 yards rushing, and you guys build from there. Even in a loss, I thought you guys would still be able to show some things that you can build off of. Not saying you didn't, but I guess I just wasn't expecting what I saw on the field from you guys from Florida. I was expecting more of a Florida Gator team that was going to come out and be a little bit more physical. And y'all tried to finesse that thing a little bit too much to me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Agree 1,000%. I was expecting. I think everybody was expecting to live and die with the run and wasn't expecting a lot from Mertz. And it was the complete opposite. I mean, Mertz was what 30, 34 of like 44, something like that.
Man, you got a young man hit first game, and he throwing 44 passes.
That's
Go
crazy.
work.
But I mean, I think that's just indicative to us not being able to run the ball. I think the game plan was to throw the ball often because our starting center Kingsley was hurt, and he's probably one of our strongest O linemen. So
Okay.
that middle is tough. And then you have our right tackle who was battling to start, was involved in a car accident. So his concussion, he wasn't cleared to play yesterday or Thursday. So, but we still had depth. So, man, I'm surprised at how much we gave up on the run. I thought we still would have tried to do it more, but they really gave up on the run.
And then it wasn't to me just y'all gave another run, bro. It was how y'all gave it up too. You're not supposed to have a Pac-12 team at linebacker beat your damn running back to the edge. That ain't supposed to happen, my boy. Like,
correct.
how? Where is the SEC speed that we're supposed to be patenting for, bro? Y'all ain't. It don't look like you got it, and you didn't even really involve your freshman, who I thought would give y'all the most chance to do that, man. I don't know. I didn't like the game plan that y'all came out with, man. We ain't talked about the defensive side of the ball, just on offense, man. I didn't see where you guys were trying to attack them, and what the weakness was in Utah's defense, which to me is from their secondary and their linebackers. That little gap between the secondary and the linebackers, I thought you guys were going to eat that area up. I thought you had tight ends and your freshmen that could get behind the linebackers and make some things happen. And I ain't see none of that, bro. But all that comes off of the running game too. They got to respect your run game. And that first pass, they threw that bitch over your head.
Exactly. And I think a lot of that had to do with the personnel. Utah's strength is always their trenches. Like, Utah is probably as far away from a traditional Pac-12 team. They're probably more Big Ten as far as how they're built. Like, they're built style up the middle. And like you said, everybody on their side was like, yo, this is the best team that Utah's had in a long time as far as recruits, as far as depth. And they showed it. I mean, their D-line last year was tough. I think we just got a few breaks. This year they was like, yo, they putting their ears back and they went nuts. So I think a lot of those passes that you're talking about, like, we got behind their defense often, but Mertz is throwing from his back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that
pressure in his phase. Yeah. You matter of fact, I actually think back to that tight end. They're exactly what I was describing. I actually think back to that missed tight end that in the seam route when you guys missed him for that touchdown that would have tied the game or put y'all up, I believe. I do remember him missing that pass. That was a huge play. He missed that pass. You get a false start on the next play, you miss a field goal. You know what I'm saying? It's just all bad. Yeah, but if he had,
it's that. So big up to Utah defensive. They front seven. I mean, but even when you think back when they had like Devin Lloyd and guys like that, like their linebacker, their defense is built. Whittingham is the longest running coach behind Saban. They're known for their defense. It's always going to be top 10, top 15 every year, regardless of who they play. And they're going to play tough. And that's why we were so picked to lose last year, because everybody was like, hell no. But when we won, I think a lot of people were expecting us to outperform them. Now, I don't think we got, well, other than the O-line got manhandled. But everywhere else, I don't think we really got beat up. I think it was more of just mistakes and taking us out of situation, like the post starts, the legal procedures, the two guys on a punt return. With
how you do that? You know I was going there. You know I was coming to penalties next, because penalties to me is all about coaching, bro. I don't care how you want to mix it, how you want to spin it. If your team is full of penalties, if your team getting stupid penalties, that all reflects on coaching.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about that penalty? Because it was 4th down, they're off the field. You guys getting the ball back. Ref calls a unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm thinking somebody done did something. It's like, no, 2 number 3s were on the field at the same time. Now, how do you as a player, what you process at that point, bro?
Man, just not prepared, man. Like, it just seems like we weren't prepared from the coaching staff down. And I mean, whoever you want to bring, Billy, the special teams coach, whatever it is, I think at the end of the day, it's the head on down. I'm not gonna say it's a season long thing. Game 1, like I said last show, game 1 is always a
when you have a big game. Like my game, we playing UT Martin. I'm not really expecting too much. I'm expecting.
That's the thing. I think when I understand wanting to challenge your team, and have these big games week 1, but I also don't like them because as a fan of the team, I'm like, yo, you need to play a cupcake.
Well, then you don't say that you don't like them. You just say you don't like them for your team because
I'm saying as a Gator fan, I want a cupcake game week 1 to work it out. But as a football fan, I love the LSU versus Florida State, Oregon versus Bama. I love
talk about that later. Yeah.
I love those big games because it's just exciting. Like, who doesn't
exactly? Don't nobody want to see y'all play no damn UT Martin the first week. Going out there to the Pac-12, we had to play Oregon. So no, man, I think the big matchups are fine. It just shows which coach it's coaching from preparation because you've had since November to prepare for this opponent, bro. It's coaching, point blank. Period. Like there's no way around it. It. Billy is a great recruiter. But head coach KB, I don't know. I think some of the people in the swamp starting to side eye, man. I don't know.
It's one of those things to where last year
y'all play Miami. Y'all play Miami out the gate next year. That's another big game. That's gonna be an even bigger game because of recruiting, territorial situations now with the ACC.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I ain't tripping about Miami, because they. How they look?
They won last night, but they didn't win. It got ugly late, but that game was still kind of close going into like end of the first half. Man, you kind of
that team, they were under. They didn't have depth. Their biggest old lineman was like 260. Like,
yeah.
I ain't
we'll see next week. Miami plays Texas A&M next week. We're gonna talk about that game later, preview it next week,
But the overall Florida game, as far as offense, I did like seeing Mertz in the situations he was in. Even the interception, it was more of like a, like miscommunication between him and the receiver. It wasn't like a stupid pick. Like, I'm glad he didn't throw like stupid picks. And he took a few sacks, but when you look from the angle from behind him, nobody was open. Covered, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't.
And you know what? And when you say that, when you had nobody open, the offensive line kind of get whooped. Anthony Richardson made all that stuff look real good last year. He might have been the reason why your team even looked like that last year. I'm just saying, it might have been Anthony Richardson and that 4.25 speed getting up out of there. Your offensive line might have been trash last year.
No, because when you think about it, he had one long run, right? The long run was like 70 yards, right?
I seen that man do some spins and backflips.
Yeah, he flipped. But Trevor Etienne last year had 78 yards rushing. Montreal
did he play?
Yes. Last year.
I'm talking about this year. Did he play?
Yeah. They just didn't hand the ball off the lot. They gave up. I think what it comes down to is like when Billy and them came up in the matchup, it was like, we're not in a position to beat them in the trenches like that. Like, it's gonna be a stalemate of anything.
I got you. So where your quick screens, your bubble screens, all them plays you showed me during practice, all them highlights you showed me during the preseason,
they ran something. Like, they missed on like 2. I think it was like an incomplete pass on like 2 of them. They hit Eugene Wilson like once or twice. That boy is electric, man. I'm looking forward to him. And
they didn't get him the ball enough though. Put him in the backfield, toss it to him, do something, get creative, Billy.
But again,
that's the OC. That's not Billy. That's the OC.
But again, your week 1 is you working out the wrinkles because your defense. it's like if you ever played football, right, and you're playing against your team,
You know
like
what's coming. You know what's
at
going
the end of
on.
the day,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So when you get that total wrinkle, like that guy moved that one way that y'all didn't even know was going to happen, and it's that type of stuff, and that's why that week 1 game is like. That's why a lot of people schedule cupcakes because you can make up for that. Like you can make up. You expect your talent to raise
Outdo
like
everybody.
Miami versus
Yeah.
Ohio. Their talent kept them 13-3, 13-0 first half. Their talent did that. It wasn't. That's all it was. It's like our guys are just better than you. And when you don't have that luxury, and you're going against a top defense, and you have guys who are pissed off at last year and probably the disrespect they got last year. On top of that, and
Y'all were disrespectful though. After y'all won that game, y'all were disrespectful.
And trying to and you're trying to like you have your guys, then you're trying to put in Eugene Wilson. You're trying to get in a guy, and you're trying to not put them in positions to be hurt, be crazy. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like I say, I'm not surprised we lost. I mean, I'll scream to the table every week that
you said 31-21, but I wasn't gonna bring that up.
My fandom is always gonna be on some extreme shit. It's always gonna be like that. That's never gonna change. If you expected to come on this show and have me be like, oh well, you know my Gator, you're out of your goddamn mind. Every week we're gonna talk about my Gators. However, the sports analyst in me also understands that realistically that shit ain't gonna happen. So I understand what the game was going to be and how it came. I'm more surprised about the O-line performance. And
yeah, that was shocking, bro. That was. I'm gonna say just not the O-line, but the D-line too. I'm gonna switch over to the defensive side. Your defense, it wasn't bad, bro. But that's Utah's O-line. You guys are supposed to
have a good O-line.
Man, they got a good one, but it ain't SEC good. They might rank around the Vanderbilts and the Kentuckys when it comes to O-line, bro. They not like that.
Kentucky has a good O-line.
Didn't you tell me you supposed to have a first round pick on that defensive line?
Yeah, it's week 1.
Look, I'm just saying. Come on, KB. He got to show flashes, bro.
When you look at the game, right? When you're just looking at the game, we gave the quarterback a lot of pressure. There's a lot of QB hits, a lot of pressures and things like that. But we just didn't get there. It's like that one step. Was getting the ball off very quickly. Very quickly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. Like he was getting the ball off very quickly.
That was the game plan. You know you can't sit back there and hold it.
We stopped the run. We stopped the run a lot. Their running came from their quarterback. From that number,
he was killing y'all, bro. He was dicing y'all with that read option, boy.
Boy, that's all he ran. That's the only run play they ran with him. Just because when your quarterback is a world-class sprinter, you have that.
Utah might be dangerous in about a year or two because he's a true freshman, bro.
Right. He's gonna be a problem, especially if he takes that job. Because they have some good little athletes. But that was where their running game came from. Their running game came from their quarterback. He ran 2 good runs for real. Their running backs really didn't do anything. Their wide receivers, they got that good one. RJ Moten, that safety from Michigan. That's what we get for a Big Ten. Go sit down. Our freshmen. And one thing, our defense was a lot better than they were last year. Like we held them to 3 conversions out of 13 on third down. They didn't do a lot of
your team speed on defense need to improve. I don't know how y'all gonna do that.
I think they had a lot of guys in with the experience, but I think now you have to. I think when they transitioned from them, like because when this game started, they had like RJ Moten, who's the senior safety from Michigan. He's the one that got bombed on, right? He's the safety that was supposed to get deep. He got bombed on. After they took him out and they put in the freshman Castell, that was it. So our freshman that played, TJ Searcy, he got a quarterback hit.
But you got to be able to recognize that they count, coach. Only put that man out there because he's a senior.
No, but he's been performing. That's the thing. Like you be performing, but when you play against your team, you may look good. That's why they have practice. You have your practice All-Americans, but then you go into the game and you're getting beat. He was taken out after that, which I respect. Last year he would have stayed out. They took his ass out. Princely, he did something as far as to where he did a move or something like that, and they took his ass out. And they had the freshmen playing, and the freshmen were making noise. So I'm looking forward to the freshmen playing more. And hopefully this is just a week 1 like we just was fucking up all across the board and go from there, then that's it.
You got 3, maybe 4 more. You got 3, maybe 4 wins, my boy. That's about the best I can give you. After the performance I saw, after watching y'all all summer, you telling me this, telling me that, and then y'all come out and do it like that. I probably got you about 3, maybe 4 wins at most. If you guys make a bowl, it's a divine intervention. If you guys make a bowl,
I don't expect anybody to give us anything, especially. But the thing is also, we're going to see moving forward if this is like I said, if this is just like a week 1 like sloppiness type thing, and our talent wasn't able to overcome it.
You'll win next week. Next week you'll look real good. Next week you'll work out the kinks. Oh boy, but Tennessee.
But the thing with Tennessee is we played them probably the best last year outside of clearly.
But that was a late game. That was a late game though, right? It was late in the season.
No, we played them week 3.
Y'all played them week 3?
Yeah, we always played them week 3. But get them some tacos. But their thing is their offense, right? Their high power, their quick offense. Their defense wasn't like we were scoring on them, but their defense, like they got a couple of joints on offense. So that'll be the thing. Can we capitalize on our offense and step up our defense? So that's going to be the thing to see. That'll be our next test to see.
You got 2 weeks to get it right, Billy.
Right. Which Gators team is real? Is it the
Utah Tennessee take real deep shots. Now, them passes that they threw for Utah, cool. But see, Tennessee schemed they players deep. And I'm telling you,
Tennessee going, they trying to throw for 500 yards a game.
Yeah, safety gonna have his eyes crossed. Gonna be hit. So we'll see, man. But
this team back there, it's gonna be a long day. I already see it.
Man, so first big game, man. Actually, the game come on in probably about 12 minutes. Or the game already on, man. I think my time behind. No, game come on in about 12 minutes. I'm in a different time zone, y'all. So y'all gotta bear with me. We got Dion, man. So my wife was like, "Damn, is Dion playing in the game?" Because all you see is Dion, his old highlights, Coach Prime versus TCU. Damn, where the players at for Colorado? Ain't nobody talk about no Colorado players. It's Dion versus TCU. They had like Prime suiting up himself, man.
That's how they're treated, man. And y'all, I think folks are gonna be surprised. Like I don't expect them to win, but I'm looking at people be like, oh, okay, they may be all right. I think he'll do good this year. I think good for them is like
5 wins. 4 or 5 wins. 4 or 5 wins is definitely an improvement. They won 1 game last year out of 12 and lost on the average of about 35 points. So that's why Dion went in. They only have 8 scholarship players, bro, from this last season. Dion has flipped the whole team. So to kind of compare them to last year really ain't fair. I expect Dion to do crazy things, man. A lot of people jumped on Keyshawn Johnson. I don't know if y'all heard the new Undisputed or watched it, but Keyshawn Johnson jumped out there and said that this is a challenge for Dion. It's going to be a challenge. He's going to go ahead and defeat this challenge, bro. He's going to get Colorado back up, and then he's going to go to the NFL. Then a lot of people's like, nah, Dion said he don't want to go to the NFL. If it's Atlanta, which Dion loves, I think he'll come to Atlanta and coach. If the Falcons were to go to him and give him full autonomy, this is your team. You build it how you want to. You got 10 years just like they gave your boy. I think you can have Dion in Atlanta eventually. But as far as how do I feel about him coaching, how do I feel about what do I think he's going to do this year, I got to say 5 wins is the max. 4 wins is 4.5 right now. Vegas has it at 4.5. So how you can't go with 5. I mean 4, Tony. It's 4.5 for either you over or under. So I'm gonna go with the over, man. I'm gonna take the over. I like Travis Hunter. I like Shador. I feel like he has a talent, but can the talent and the coaching mix and mesh that fast? We got to see.
I mean,
that'll be the thing.
I don't expect Prime to jet to the NFL. I really think he's always
no. It'll be 10 years from now. It'll be 10 years from now. 10, 15 years from now. That's what we're talking about.
I don't see him like a Whittingham. Like
no.
But who knows? I think he's really about the youth, and there's just a change. Like
He
he's
feel like it's his calling. He always tell you
yeah,
that's his calling.
I think
Yeah.
his personality, his stuff, he's built for that college. You know what I'm saying? To where he can
Yeah, but listen to
guide
this though,
approach
Deion
in a
Sanders.
very
You get to be the first black head coach of the Atlanta Falcons in a black city that you love. You tell you wanted to go to Atlanta. There was no other NFL team you wanted to go to coming out of college because you had never seen a black mayor with black politicians, black businessmen. You had never seen that before anywhere in the United States, and it's probably hard to find it now in the United States outside of Atlanta. If
mm,
you come in here and give the full autonomy, bro, and Arthur Blank has to go to him a certain way now. It's Deion Sanders now. You ain't gonna be able to just walk in there and say, "Hey, Deion, we the Falcons, we want you." No, you're gonna have to be done in a certain style, a certain facet. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a certain. Well, I think it's possible though. But to get back to right now, give me like Tony said, man, 5 wins. If I'm betting, I'm probably gonna put it at 4,
now I'm gonna tell
and I
you,
think that's a good season too.
yeah, I think so too. But when you look at, I think a lot of people may not know names, but a lot of people forgot about his portal. Um, his starting wide receivers: Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., Xavier Weaver, right? Uh, all solid guys. You have
Hmm.
Kavasi Smoke from Kentucky, who's on
Smoke,
that
yep,
team. Kavasi Smoke was a
is a
top performer in the
bro.
SEC.
I'm telling you. If you don't
Kavasi
know Kavasi Smoke, you're going to learn.
He ain't no. I don't know anybody on TCU defense who can keep up with Kavasi Smoke. Um, Jimmy Horn Jr. is legit.
Yes,
Their
sir.
linemen that they got, most of them are transfers and they're solid. Shador knows the offense better than the OC. Let's see, defensive: Derek McClendon, Shane Cokes, Leonard Payne. A lot of them guys are SEC got like you're getting a lot of guys from these SEC schools who just wanted to play for Prime. Like,
Exactly, bro. And
like,
then
and that's
don't discount that either. If I could be anywhere today outside of where I am here with my wife and her
I
family,
would be.
I would be in TCU locker room
You know how
listening
much?
to that pregame speech that Prime is gonna give y'all.
You know how
That
much?
pregame speech he go how much?
Bruh, they was like 3 something.
Oh no, hell no.
Damn,
I was sitting in the nosebleed,
and I
so
was like, oh no, oh
I'm
no.
pretty sure my ticket
It's
would have been about
30
six
minutes
hundred
down the street.
dollars.
It's
For
30 minutes
real?
down the street. Yeah, TCU's like 30, 45 minutes from my house.
Oh, okay. I can
But
get you
I
out there in the world of Dallas. In the
but
Dallas world. But yeah, bro, that speech Prime gonna get them boys today. Man, I hope they put it public. I really do. I hope they you know what I'm saying, do the little
you know
after
he
clips
is.
and edit it.
You
But
know
I
he
can
is.
only imagine that pregame speech Prime gonna get them boys today. Gonna be he going to
If
church. He going to church with it today, man.
if they beat TCU,
Lord have
that's
mercy.
gonna be, I don't care who
Woo.
else lose. If they beat TCU, they will be the talk for the next few weeks. Bama could lose today, other than UGA losing. But like anybody else
Hey, don't,
losing,
don't say no shit like that.
anybody else losing is not going to compare to TCU losing to Colorado by
Yeah.
40.
Oh man, come on, man. If Prime can pull this off today, my boy, he might have a job offer tomorrow from somewhere else, bro. If somebody say, bro, if you can take Colorado and turn them around and beat the team that was in the national championship last year, tell me what, tell me why a big team would not come. Why Ohio State, if they lose to Michigan this year, wouldn't go to Prime and say, here go a blank check, Prime. Come to Ohio State. Imagine what you can do with us.
I'm telling you, man, the worst thing Florida State did was burn that bridge with Deion, boy.
Woo! Did you okay? So let's talk about that too. Because you know my road dog, that boy a diehard Florida State fan. My boy Daryl, he gonna be
I know
coming on
that
here.
hurt.
He gonna be doing some fantasy stuff, y'all. He gonna be coming on doing his own like little fantasy segment. We're gonna work that out. We'll start next week during the NFL season. He's gonna come on and give like his fantasy picks. Bro has been in probably since I met bro 10 years ago. He probably won 9 fantasy championships. No lie, like every year, bro is in the championship. We actually kicked him out our league because he came in and beat us so bad. And I was been playing since 2006. Now we ain't kick him out. We just gave him a 1 year pass because somebody else didn't play. But he came in and beat everybody bad, bro. It wasn't even close games. The drafting, like he told me who he was gonna draft. Like he studied drafts and players and fantasy. So anyway, he was that hard Florida State fan. And bro, when I say I ain't never got so many texts from bro, like a thread back to back, he was hot. I
Yeah.
mean, he was like, "How could Prime do this? Why would you say this after everything people done did for you?" Yeah, bro. Yeah, but I told him, black people and white people, they love Deion Sanders, but
Yeah.
especially black people. You have Florida State people that was like, well, I didn't really see nothing wrong with it. Problem, what he said. He really technically didn't graduate from the school. I'm like, bro, Deion done built his back off Florida State, built his brand
Deion
off of
is
Florida
the poster
State, bro.
child. Deion picture still up in the stadium, walking around. He is there.
And he just said he is not a no.
Hey man, I don't know. I mean, we all know kind of stuff that happened, but I don't know really what went behind the scenes to that thing.
Something
But the
had to
worst
happen,
thing,
bro.
but the worst
Something
thing they
had
did
to.
was burn a bridge with Deion Sanders, man. Could
Can
you
you imagine
imagine?
if Deion Sanders was coaching at Florida State this year?
When Deion Sanders left, we said the scariest thing for anybody in college football is Deion Sanders
Deion
becomes the
Sanders
head coach
going to
of Florida
Florida
State
State.
because Florida State recruits itself anyway. Then on top of that, you have NIL. Then you have Deion Sanders. All of them kids would never. We wouldn't be able. They would be top 3 every year.
You guys, speaking of Florida State, TJ, what's up, my boy? You know he was
Oh,
coming back to come holler at you now. You know
that's
he was
fine.
coming holler at you.
That's fine, man. Look, everything was picked against us to lose. You know what I'm saying? And we lost. It is what it is. Y'all better handle business on Sunday. That's all I
It'll be
got.
TJ. We should have brought TJ on today, man. Let him give us his breakdown of this game because he knows these players. He played with a lot of these guys, and let him get a score prediction. TJ, if you watch it, man, give us a score prediction for your game, my boy. Let us know what you think the score prediction gonna be for tomorrow, LSU versus FSU. And matter of
Hey
fact,
man,
we actually got that game up here to actually talk about, man. You got
Brian
it's an
Kelly
early
said,
playoff game. Yeah, did you see that? What he said, bro?
we're gonna beat the we said we're gonna beat the mess out of Florida State. And you know he ain't mean mess. He said we're gonna beat the shit out of Florida State. Hey man, that Florida State hiring Dion Wright is, I'm not gonna say it's equivalent to Brian Kelly being hired at LSU, but LSU recruits them keeping kids in Louisiana is huge for them. And then you bring in a Brian Kelly who makes guys win. He brings that intense, brings all that stuff. They have all the pieces. They got all of everything you need. They got the defense. They got the DBs. They got the wide receivers. They got the talent. Man, I don't see them getting lucky with a missed field goal again. I don't see Florida State
But
getting lucky
I'm
with a
not
field
gonna. But I'm not gonna discredit Florida State because them boys have a
goal. Right.
lot of talent over there, man. They got
They do.
dynamic wide receivers. They got a quarterback very AR-ish in his getaway ability. That boy Swift, he's nimble. He probably has Travis Hunter. What is that name? Not Hunter. What's his name? Travis. Jordan
Jordan.
Travis has the ability to play himself into a first round pick, a high first round pick. You
No.
got to take advantage of that, man. You can't say that, bro. He has all the tools. What can't he do?
He reminds me of
Bryce Young. He reminds me of a Bryce Young. He's a poor man Bryce to me, which ain't a bad thing because Bryce is a Heisman
I
Trophy
was
winner.
thinking more of like not what's my man that was at Auburn? Bo Nix.
Oh, that's disrespectful. I wouldn't give him that. Bo's decision making is horrible. Bo is a one read. If it ain't there, I'm taking off with my feet type quarterback.
It's interesting
I'm
to see
not gonna
because
give
Travis is
Travis
a
that.
very good. He, like I said, he's a good athlete. Like
And
he's a
that's what he developed
he's
from.
a
He
good
started off, like you said,
yeah,
he started off like that Utah quarterback last night, the other day, where he's just kind of doing read options and running plays. Then he learned the offense a little bit more, learned to start throwing the ball down the field. Now, bro, I think he has full control of the offense, and I think Travis has the. I think Florida State gonna win the ACC this year. I'm just being real. I know I don't like Clemson, and I be talking trash.
I can
Florida
see
State
it.
really does have the ability to go to the college football playoff this year, and I think if they don't, they're going to look back at this as a missed opportunity. They got the
Oh
number
yeah,
one overall pick. Versa is supposed to be the number one pick in the draft next year on defense.
yeah.
You got all the tools, Florida State. You have no excuse. You got the coach. He's been there for 12 years. He got all his people.
Yeah,
There's no excuse.
they don't have any excuse not to be in the ACC championship. At least, at minimum.
If they don't go to the ACT championship and Deion win 5 games, Deion Sanders is a better coach than Mike Norvell, and I say that with pride.
Yeah, absolutely.
That being real. And if I'm Florida State, I'm calling Deion like, bro, I'm sorry. Here go a blank check. It ain't gonna
Man,
work because Colorado gave him a blank check too. But I'm just saying,
damn boy, I'm not mad that it didn't happen as a Florida Gator fan. The worst thing that could have happened is Deion being. That's like the cool, like
yeah, bro, that's it. Ain't nothing
fam,
worse than that, my boy.
Prime
We
is
got
like,
one more call. So today, man, the big game today, South Carolina versus USC. North Carolina with Heisman Trophy potential, potentially Heisman Trophy finalist Drake Mays. Do you believe in Mays, bro? Do you think he for real?
on the college level, I think yeah. When it comes to pros, I'm not sold. Like it may be like a Will Greer type thing. It may be like a
I got
like you know what I'm saying. I'm not sold on him. But I think he can get it done. For UNC, it's always can they finish. It's always can they finish. That's always UNC. They score. They defense be good enough. The offense moves the ball enough. It is just like at the end, it's like, can you finish, my boys? I like UNC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like Mac Brown. I like they always recruit. They'll get like some good quality recruits. Like they may not finish top 10, but when that class, they may have like a 5-star here, a couple 4 stars. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if they have enough to beat South Carolina. But I also don't know what Spencer Rattler
Which one we
will.
gonna get? We gonna get early Spencer Rattler from last year, who was trash, or the late Spencer Rattler, who was beating Tennessee.
Right, and then I don't know if how bad they're going to miss Jaheim Bell. That was their
Yeah.
ace. You know what I'm saying? Ace of the pocket. Who's with Florida State now? Now they do have the Nicholas Harbor kid, the dude that ran like the faux like the
track
tall
the track guy.
track dude at tight end. So it'll be interesting to see how if UNC has any athletes that can keep up with them. But man, I want UNC to win because I like UNC over South
You just
Carolina.
want somebody else in the East to lose. That's all good.
No, I mean no, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
You know. You got to win your conference games. That's what matters anyway. So out of conference ain't gonna never help you.
But yeah, man, I think it's gonna be a good game. I just want UNC to finish. Like Drake May is good. I just want them to finish the damn
I like
game.
May. I like Drake May. Don't get me wrong, but I don't trust the people around him. Like you said, his supporting cast this year isn't the star-studded people. He's gonna if these people are good around him, it's because he makes them better, and that would sell me on if I'm an NFL GM.
Absolutely.
I'm looking to see if you make these people better because we know they're not top-tier talent around you. But if you can somehow get these boys to a big bowl game, New Year's bowl game, even the ACC championship, because this year the ACC is adapting the same thing as the SEC. The 2 top teams, regardless of if you coastal or non-coastal or whatever the East-West, they don't have that no more. 2 top teams going regardless of record. So I think that's
that too, right.
I'm not sure about Big Ten. I know SEC and ACC did it. I'm not sure about the Big Ten because I would love. That means we get Ohio State and Michigan twice. That would be awesome. I love to see that. I hate seeing Michigan versus Purdue or Ohio State versus Northwestern.
Indiana,
you know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see that. And you know how this gonna end. So if we could get Ohio State and Michigan like back-to-back weeks because the championship game is right after the last game for them, that would be dope. So I'm hoping it works out like that. Same thing for the SEC. Bama's gonna have a tough way to. Can Bama meet us there? We know we're gonna have one of the top records. But if you went by records last year, I think
LSU
would have been the game. So I don't know, man. I love the newer system. I love the way they're doing it. I think it gives teams the ability to really be in the race. Miami say this is gonna benefit them. I don't know. Haven't seen it. You got Florida State, Miami, Clemson. You got 3 teams over there who I think could. No, I don't think Miami is one of the 3 teams. Let's not get that twisted. Clemson, Florida State, and you probably got like a pit
I mean,
weight
you still
type.
got the Wakes, the you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, give me one of them before I put Miami in there.
It's like it's always a toss up. Like you have that one team, like you usually have Clemson, and then be like, okay, who else is gonna?
Is Clemson that good? I mean, we don't know.
I like Cade Klubnik. He can play, man. I like him, but I don't know about Will Shipley. I don't know about
Exactly.
receivers. The defense without, you know what I'm saying?
Brent Venables has looked bad the last 2 years. They need to get him back from Oklahoma. Wherever Oklahoma playing him to be head coach, they need to pay him that to come back into Clemson because it ain't working as a head coach for him. So I ain't really worried about that.
That's another guy that's going to be. But Oklahoma gives their guys time. Like Oklahoma is a
That's
program.
He's a graduate. Ain't he a graduate from Oklahoma?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he's an alum. I think he's an alum. So he's gonna have to. He'll resign before they fire him. Use that type of situation.
Yeah. Because I mean,
you don't want to fire your alumni. That don't look good. So you gotta let them guys resign. Man, I think that's the big ducats for college today, man. I'm gonna ride with the SEC, man. I'm gonna pull South Carolina for the upset over number 21 North Carolina, man, in a close game. Give me like a last second walk off field goal. TCU. I just want Deion to keep it close. You know what I mean? If you get beat by 3 touchdowns, I don't want to see that, Deion. Come on now. But keep it close. Keep it close. Let's get to the fourth quarter with the game within scoring distance. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that.
We're gonna get to see if Travis Hunter. Well, I think Travis Hunter.
Okay, me too. But now, did you make the right decision? We don't know yet. We really don't.
We'll get to see him on both sides of the ball. We finally get to see Cormani.
Yeah. Then the Miami commit that stuck them in the middle of the night, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the guy who you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, people want to claim money, all that stuff. But he is not a starting quarterback. They have him as third string.
So he's the star.
No, he's third string.
Oh, he's third. Oh, okay.
Their nickel is a Miles Slusher.
I mean, TCU is 5 wide, so it don't. You better have 5 that can run. So it don't. TCU going 5 wide. They're gonna go 5 wide. So
we're gonna. Hey man, it's gonna be. I hope it's a good game. I'm not gonna guarantee it's a good game, but I hope there hasn't been any surprises. Give me your surprise for the weekend for college. Like today is the last. I mean Sunday, but
tomorrow. My surprise would be, if anything, I'm just looking at some of these matchups that they got. I think LSU and FSU will live up to the hype. Be a great game. Come down to like fourth quarter. Whoever got the ball last will win. A surprise if I just had to jump out the box. It's week 0, man. Don't nobody play nobody. I expect the big teams to win. Texas got an easy game. I'm just looking at some of the games on the schedule. Tennessee got a easy game. Give me Deion, man. Give me Deion for the upset. Deion to actually win. Give me Deion to win the game, flat out. I'll take that as my upset if I had to pick. They got casinos up here, bro. I'm actually trying to get the one that you can sit in there and place bets, like play by play. Like you can bet on the next play. What it gonna be? Pass or run?
Yeah, they shout out to the casinos out there in St. Louis and Mississippi and all that. Yeah, man, I'm thinking I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna get TCU. I'm gonna give TCU the win, but I'm gonna give them the late win, like a surprisingly being like, oh my god, I can't believe it's this close. That's gonna be my surprise. And Middle Tennessee versus Bama, man. I think it's not because of what Middle Tennessee did to Miami last year. Like it's not. Because that's probably why people were thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, Bama is ranked number 4, and they just named their starting quarterback, Jalen Milroe. It's gonna be interesting, man. If he makes
Monroe is the quarterback when they if we meet them in the SEC championship, and Monroe is their quarterback, I love my chances. because again, he's a quarterback I think you can scheme against. If that first read ain't there, guess what he finna use? You get that
He's
happy
gone.
feet. We got the defenders that can catch you, so I'm not. That part don't scare
And
me.
I don't see him being the starting quarterback at the end of this. Like, I
Nah, me
really
either.
feel like I want him to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Young black man, do your thing. But I really, excuse me, I really don't see him making it through this full game with confidence going into the season. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be like, random picks. Him just trying to do too much. I know they're gonna run the ball. They got them two freshmen. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
man, I just don't know that their offense is as dynamic as it was. Like, because last year, no wide receivers won't hitting on
And then
nothing.
they got Bobby Petrino is the OC slash I guess he's like an assistant. And I don't know, bro. That old school stuff to me, I ain't really a fan of it, man. I feel like you got. I don't like Mike Bobo for us being OC. If anything, I had to pick anything that scares me at Georgia is that. But I look at the talent that he has this time to use in that scheme of his. Maybe it'll pop out. But Bobby Petrino, all them old coach Gene Chizik up there at defensive coordinator. You talked about that for UNC. I'm interested to see a lot of how these old coordinators do against some of these new young fresh minds that they have brought in that coordinators in other schools.
These young
Auburn got a fresh coordinator. We don't know what they're gonna look like down there up under Hugh
Ooh,
Freeze.
I'm
So
expecting Auburn to. I don't expect them to win a lot, but I expect them to look good on offense. I expect them to be like, man, if we just get a defense, because they
exactly.
offense on that Freeze. If not year one, next year he gonna
He
have
gonna
them
be
boys.
crazy. You hear me?
He gonna have them
Auburn's
boys.
gonna go back to being competitive now. When they go back to like winning and doing, they ain't did that but one time, and that was with Cam Newton and a perfect system with your boy Gus Malzahn. He couldn't duplicate that jump since. So we'll
Nah,
see.
not at all.
But man, we almost in our last 10-minute segment. Our last segment, we're gonna talk about these NFL, man. NFL is back next week, Thursday. Kickoff game. Um I guess next week we'll come on Saturday, man, and give y'all some of like our predictions for like the conferences, championship game, the divisions, and Super Bowl. We give y'all all that, you know what I mean? Then we'll come back and revisit it later on in the year. But Thursday night, Lions, the champions always kick off Thursday night. Chiefs get their rings. They have the ceremony where they drop the banner down. Be a
Mhm.
whole spectacle. I think the Lions coming to play though. I don't think the Lions are coming in there like, hey, we just gonna lay down for y'all, and this is y'all night, and we just here as a damn decorative ornament. But I think the Lions are really coming to play, and I think the Chiefs might get clipped if they ain't careful.
I think the Lions are coming to play, and I think that doesn't mean one goddamn thing. I think the Chiefs are going to come out awesome. Everybody's healthy. I mean, they're missing
Yeah,
Chris Jones up the middle, but against the Lions,
they better get that
who
man his money, bro.
the Lions are missing their wide receiver, their deep field threat.
Oh,
They
I forgot they
traded
got them
their
guys suspended for gambling.
yeah,
Oh
they
man, I
traded
forgot
they traded their tight end um towards the end of the year to
Hawkinson.
the Vikings. Their running game, they're missing Jamal. Their running back, he's with the Saints now. Swift is
Is with the
gone.
Eagles. They
Uh,
got Montgomery, David Montgomery. I mean, he didn't do
Jameer
bad for.
Gibbs.
I am
Oh,
expecting.
oh,
Oh,
you disappeared.
okay, I'm back. My fault. I am expecting Jameer Gibbs to do some big things too, though.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Lions offense does to the Chiefs defense, because I already know what the Chiefs offense is going to do to the Lions defense. Like already doing that, man. So man, give me your yeah, the verdict is out. So give me your final thoughts, man. Give us something going into the weekend, man. Just
Oh man, Georgia Tech lost, Florida lost. I was so happy. The last 2 days, the Braves have beat the Dodgers. It just been, I mean, listen. Only one thing can ruin my day today, and we know what that is. And if the UGA go out there and lay an egg against UT Martin, I wouldn't even. I probably just quit everything. I'm gonna turn my phone off. I'm gonna find me a dispensary and just go sit down, chill. Cause That's it though, man. What did I say, Sean? Something to say real quick. I'm gonna lay it right. I'm gonna ring prime for 6 wins and a bowl game. Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna see.
That's
I mean,
tough there, man.
I think it's possible for me. Man, I gotta talk about my Gators, man. O line needs to grab them nuts and step it up. And I really think now. I really think we need an OC. Billy put up he put up what over 350 yards of offense against Utah, top defense. We had better time possession. We had all that good stuff, just not the points. I think the attention to detail that Florida would benefit from having with Billy, you need an OC. You need somebody who can have the offense and have the defense, and Billy can float to everybody's special teams. Because I think if he's paying attention to the special teams going on, that penalty doesn't happen. I think if you know what I'm saying, like it's things to where you have to give stuff your full attention. And somebody said something on Twitter yesterday that was really deep, and not really deep, but it meant a lot. Kirby Smart is by far, if not the best defensive mind, one of the best defensive minds in college football over like the last 10, 15 years. You would agree?
Yeah.
He has a defensive coordinator that calls their own plays. Like if you have the greatest defensive mind who lets a defensive coordinator call plays, that just lets you know that as a head coach, you have to be a master of all and not just a master of one. Like you can still be the head coach and still be the quarterback guy. But I think when it comes down to play calling, giving the offense the attention it needs, and that offensive coordinator needs to be in the box. He needs to be
Yeah.
looking. You know what I'm saying? You have
Yes.
to
Yes. Yes.
you have to be able to call up and have your passing game coordinator, your run game coordinator, your guys talking to the OC to call down and say, hey, and then as the head coach, you can say, hey, no, and this drive I want to control the clock. This drive I want to air it out. Like you can do that, but let somebody else perfect that and pay attention to everything. So I think until if Billy steps it up, because he's going to have to step it up. Regardless, unless he just doesn't win any games or wins like one, I don't see him getting fired or nothing like that. But next year, he definitely, unless something drastic happens and something amazing happens, like that nobody really expects, I don't see a change. But
Laneway might be the key. You never know.
they need he needs to step back and let somebody else run it. That's why Saban is
Oh yeah,
Saban.
I agree.
You have
I
to
agree.
step back and master everything, so where you can look at everything versus just being heavily offense. That when Mullen, his best year at Florida is the 1 year he had an OC and he let Brian Johnson do his thing. That was his best year that he had as the Florida head coach when he didn't call the plays.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that because again, like you said, you can't be the master of one thing and then you know what I mean. You got to be a master of all. You got to be able to have a full view of your team. And Kirby, what he don't do though, he's not gonna let you coach his DBs. Now he out there with his own hands with his DBs, telling his
That's
DBs what he
fine.
wants to do in correlation to the scheme. He's not out there just teaching it, you know what I mean? Just, you
Yeah.
know, this is what I want you to do just because. No, it's in correlation with the scheme. I think Billy has to find a coordinator, offensive and defensive wise, that coaches his principles but let them do it their own way. You know what I mean? They're not you, so you can't be kind of interfering with, like you said, the play calling. But I think Kirby influences the call. Like, hey, let's air it out here. Or let's keep it on the ground. That type of thing. Now, what you call is totally on you. Yes, you the coordinator. I'll let you do your thing. But
Or if it came down to it, if it comes down to UGA in a battle with a Ohio State and Ohio State's moving the ball, then you be like, hey, I'm calling the plays, watch out. Then at that point, you know what I'm saying, let the expertise step in and do your thing. I think, like you said, with Billy, I think you can find a coordinator who runs a pistol type offense. Play like that's fine. You can bring in a pro style OC, whatever you want to do. That's cool. But pay attention to that dude, the two guys in number 3. Pay attention to, yo, man, this
yeah,
safety's getting beat. Why don't we take his ass out? Like, you can't do that because you're
yeah,
doing the same thing Mullen did, and your downfall
yeah,
is going to be you not being an expert of the team, but being an expert of the offense, and that just ain't going to work. Regardless of
yeah,
how many assistants and all the stuff you got. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, but y'all recruiting good right now. You don't want to mess that up, of course. But at the same time, if the product, you can get all these players in the world, you can have 10 5-stars, but if we can't get them lined up right, can't get them in the same position or put them
Right.
in position to win, it don't matter. It does not matter.
We're making somebody, JD from On 3 said, game 1, you're making year 1 mistakes in year 2. And that is the most worrisome thing. So we'll see if that's just a Utah just went nuts, the environment. If it was just like they just did everything great and we just fell victim to first game jitters versus all this extra behind the scenes stuff, or if this is just the identity of the Florida Gators. If it is, like you said, Billy be gone year 3. Billy will be gone by the end of year 3, maybe the middle of year 4, if this continues. I don't want him to, but
yeah.
Shit, what you gonna do?
So I'm just hoping George get up early, man. I want to see some of the young guys. There's a Gunner Stock. There's another quarterback to me who's just as good as Beck. Who, like you said, if Beck get to struggling, Kirby gonna pull your leash in. Gunner Stockton. You still got Brock Vandergrift there. I don't know why that kid is not transferred out. I don't know. Don't really. Hey, whatever. Maybe he just loves Georgia enough to he's gonna stay. Because you can still get drafted, but it's gonna be tough with no game film. That's all I'm saying.
Last question. Stanford, Cal, SMU, and the ACC. What you think? Good or bad?
Yeah, I mean, got to be good at this point. You know, the ACC know they about to lose some folks, so you might well go ahead and try to get it. Hey, man, you got coastal. You're going to be the coastal conference. You can go away with the ACC, the Atlanta Coastal. It'll be coastal. They kept it coastal. I mean, right? So
that's going to be a hell of a. They talk about us going to Utah, boy. When Florida State got to travel to Stanford, or Stanford got to go all the way to Wake Forest, man, it's going to be nuts. But it definitely was a survival, if anything, like we got cushion if we do lose Florida State and Clemson, which
looks like they're going to go to a more of a Ivy League type school, type conference to me. I mean, if you're asking me. You know they're gonna be lit. Oh man, come on, man.
ACC, they already want to see. Hey, then they got Stanford, Cal, and SMU. SMU offenses. Hey man, SMU gets.
Hey, so don't sleep on SMU football team either. They're coming back. Hey, you know they had that death penalty. Exactly. Yeah. They got out of that death penalty. They're coming back. They can recruit. They didn't have no scholarships to give out. You imagine how trying to win with 25 scholarships a year because you got capped.
Hey. So SMU has a offensive coordinator. When we were looking for a head coach, I said he was on my top 5 guys to bring over for an OC. He's a young guy. SMU offense was top 10 last year. Hey, man, y'all better. SMU ain't gonna be no slouch in the ACC. I'm telling you.
No.
And they down the street, and I can go to the games, baby.
Yeah.
I can go to my triple D. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
but all right, man. We the games have started, man.
Yes,
Oklahoma
time to watch.
Kentucky.
Damn, already? I hope I'm through it to my wide receiver. Bro, hold up. Bro, tell these people why you took my damn wide receiver.
Oh, in the fantasy? At the time, I think he was like the 8th, 9th round.
Bro, you knew I was gonna pick Lad, bro. You knew I was gonna do that.
Since we talking about that, let me just name off my
We're gonna bring the people in playing. Everybody who in the league. I told them next week we're gonna bring them on, man. Let everybody come on and talk about this team and get their rocks off. So I hope I'm trying to arrange that where everybody can come on. Even if they come on one by one. Look, they say Travis Hunter already scored, but we're going. But we missing it. But we got to get off this thing.
All right, man. We can get off, but boy, my lineup is nuts.
We're gonna talk about it next week. We're gonna bring everybody on next week and let them talk about their team. So yeah.
All right.
Till next week, guys. We out. Peace.
I ain't never played sports. You know what I mean? I always have, you know what I'm saying, like music and love music from the jump. So that was my just plan A. I ain't even have a plan B. I made myself not have a plan B on purpose just so I can fulfill my plan A.